Okay, so here we are talking about measurement, and that's because we're going to get into a more recent 800 Flowers case study that's all about measurement. Okay. About a year or so ago, I was consulting to a company called Hive, HYVE, which stands for How You View Entertainment. And as a side note, it's not a very good company name because if you Google it, you'll find there are about 1 million HIVEs or HYVEs. In fact, they couldn't get the URL for Hive. I think the company's URL actually is ThinkHive. But I brought it up once, maybe twice, and they didn't get it, so I dropped it. So this is a little background on Hive, so you understand the company and what I was selling 800 Flowers. So the senior management of Hive had relationships with hotel chains. Okay, and the first one they had was with Choice Hotels, which operates Comfort Inns and Econo Lodge, and Comfort Suites, about 8 or 9 different hotel brands. I'm sure you've seen the ads. The old campaign was Bada Book, Bada Boom, to try to get you to book directly with Choice rather than go through a hotel congregating website, because Choice would make more money that way. Anyway, what Hive was doing was working with Choice Hotels to bring advertisers into some of the communications that they were already doing with their guests. Hive was going to put addressable TV boxes into all the guest rooms where ads could be inserted into the the program guide channel and the different channels, and they were also selling ads on the Wi-Fi login page. When you go to a hotel, you can get on the hotel Wi-Fi and maybe save a little money, so they're going to try to sell ads on that. And first project, though, was to sell ads in the reservation confirmation emails. So here you see email programs. So, and there's Choice Hotels, and there are the major hotel brands, with Choice, being a big one in the U.S. market. Okay, they're the brands: Sleep Inn, Comfort Suites, Comfort Inn. Okay, so the reservation confirmation email. So when you book direct with Choice, you would get a confirmation email back right away with your reservation confirmation number and your details, the charge, and the dates and everything in it. So people were obviously very anxious to make sure that they booked the right thing and to write down their confirmation number, take a screenshot of it or whatever. So it had a 90% open rate. It's a very high open rate for emails. But transactional emails like that, based on something you've done, tend to have higher open rates. There is kind of a draft of the 800 Flowers ad on the bottom of it. Now, when we talk about databases, each one of the Choice brands had a slightly different demographic skew. So this is based on going into the database and taking a look at who was there. So you see, we knew the age, the median income, how many graduated from college, how much of the travel was for leisure or personal travel, how much was for business. We knew some things about the consumers for the different brands. Here's Comfort Inn as a different skew, higher median income, etc. And here we know leisure and business, slightly more using for business. Here's Sleep In with a little bit more demographics, and this is information, again, pulled from the customer database. Okay. So what we were telling 800 Flowers was that there are 4.5 million of these emails go out every month with a 90% open rate. And so what we were telling 800 Flowers was this could be an customer acquisition campaign, a prospecting campaign for them, where if they made, a good offer via the email, they could add potentially new customers to their database, which then they would have to move down the purchase funnel, get them to buy again, develop loyalty, ... So it could be a customer acquisition play for them. We only could handle a banner ad, so a static, ad with no rich media, nothing moving on it, no video. And we did know from research that event trigger emails get a much higher conversion rate, open rate and conversion rate. We knew that from our own research. Actually, this is from Emma, which is a big emailing a company that'll handle your emails for you. So there you go. This is our pitch to 800flowers.com. And we told them they could run these ads in the email, and we projected what their revenue would be as well as we could. No one had ever done a program like this before, advertising and reservation confirmation emails. These tend to be, pretty much just between the hotel and the customer. So there was no track record to go on. In fact, this was the real concern, as you'll see, that 800 Flowers had with the whole deal. Choice Hotels wanted Hive they thought this was such a great opportunity because of the number of emails and the open rate. They wanted a guaranteed, like a CPM deal. They wanted a guaranteed amount of money every month just for participating in the program. Getting text from my friend who's visiting his parents in Florida at the old folks' home. They just got put in the old folks' home, and they're probably not too happy. Most people aren't. Now, sorry about that. Little diversion, little intrusion of life there. Let's look at these numbers. These are our projections. This is Hive projecting and sharing with 800 Flowers what kind of a fortune they're going to make on this, and that they should give us a guarantee based on these numbers. So the top line, and there are 4 different scenarios shown here. Top line is 4.5 million emails get sent out a month. The open rate we know is 90%. Then the click-through rate. How many people after opening it click and go to the site, and then after that, how many people order. So we made different assumptions on the click-through rate and the purchase rate. The average order value, I think we got from their annual report, so that was a constant also. And then we had number of conversions, how many people. These were actual thousands here. This was not, so 4.5 million, 90% open rate, 1% of the 90% would click through, and 2.5% of the people who clicked through would purchase, and that gave us number of conversions. Okay, so you can see number of new customers is 1,012.5, so that's for half a customer I feel bad for. It's rough. The higher click-through rate and purchase rate gave us 2,800, 6,000, 8,100 with these outrageous rates. And then we multiply that times the orders, and here we're making 70,000. Here we're making 198,450 per month. Here we're making 425,000. Here we're making 567,000. We deduct the cost of goods sold, which we got from their annual report, as you can see. And here's their margin, estimated margin, almost 30,000, 80,000, 178, 238,000. Then we just got bold and stuck in the off email multiplier, which you'll remember is how many people go back and purchase sometime later. They don't do it right away. So it's a little harder to track it directly to the click, but it still can be tracked. And so we have all these, my God, they're going to make a fortune. Why not pay us, $50,000 guaranteed per month? Because you're going to make $59,000 a month at the worst. Maybe almost $500,000 a month profit. Wow. Let me get in on it. Well, 800 Flowers refused to give a guarantee. They don't like to do business that way, particularly with something without a track record. They're willing to test and pay us on a per order basis, right? So it's the cost per click. They weren't going to do cost per click. They're going to do more of a CPA, cost per acquisition or cost per order. I think they agreed to pay us like 30% of the order or thereabouts for every order that we generated from the email. And if they found that worked well, maybe they would look towards some kind of guarantee in the future. That's a pretty reasonable thing for a client to ask, but of course Choice Hotels didn't understand that. But when it came down to the wire and no other advertisers seemed to be interested, they took the deal. And 800 Flowers was able to get this creative done and run it, I believe, May 2018. And you see it has an offer, 20%. Shop now, pretty clear banner for 800 Flowers that ran on these millions and millions of confirmation emails. And then they did an everyday ad right underneath it. That after Mother's Day, we switched to that. Problem here is that there's no offer. Kind of like the ads that I had done back around the holidays in 2000. Okay. Now, I want to talk about tracking now a little bit. And I know this chart, you're going, oh my Lord. Let me stop the lecture here and go get a cup of coffee or a glass of wine or whatever it is. So what is this? This is how you track what happens with ads. And so basically the media company inserts a tag, a little piece of code. It's about the size of a pixel onto every ad it gets. And that little pixel is almost like a little recording device. And when people click and open and do things like that, it's tracked. These are, I think, for the Mother's Day ad and for the everyday ad on the bottom, you see start dates and end dates. You have an ad ID number, ad name. There's a creative ID, 800. This is from 800 Flowers. And then you have the tags for tracking impressions and tracking clicks over on the right. And this code is actually what gets physically pasted into a pixel in the ad. And that's what does the tracking. So it's called putting a pixel on it or tagging the ad. And here we see results. So we see how many impressions, which is tracked by how many people open the email. That's tracked by our little pixel. And you have dates over here. Okay. And then you have click-through revenue, click-through conversion, click-through revenue. So there's small numbers of click-through conversion and click-through revenue. You see more view-through revenue. Now, view-through revenue is the off-email multiplier. They viewed, but they didn't click. They came back and bought later. And this is actual revenue now. So lots of impressions, folks, right? 155,000 in some cases, but $100, $155 in revenue. So clearly there's a problem. Now, here's what the problem was. It goes to the CAN-SPAM Act. For those of you who don't know, there were rules established by the federal government concerning what you can and cannot do in an email. And the concern obviously is about spam. I think we're coming to the end here of our recording, so I'm going to stop and we'll take it up on the other side.